I did get recommended this video a lot, and I'm not gonna pause, okay? I'm not gonna pause. It's already a 32-minute video. Shout out to my man Jack. Probably just made millions of dollars on this ad revenue. I'm not pausing though. I'm just gonna let it roll.
You may have been one of the
breakfast with the gifted of fab. I freaking love you.
Free to play and a fresh take on the.
I love you, man. I appreciate that, bro. Let's go, man.
A gritty Modern Warfare rebooted universe. Many Call of Duty fans experience.
Dude, I love his accent, man.
Player combined arms battles with infantry and vehicles on a large map for the very first time. Intense combat and a second chance at life should you win a brutal 1v1 fight in the gulag, or your teammates gathered enough money to
dude, the OG movement and stuff. I don't know why it looks so funny.
Around you.
Like no slide cancels.
Preferred arsenal, tweaking and meddling with weapon builds in the gunsmith. The guns felt varied, viable, punchy with realistic function, accurate reloads and more recoil. They sounded incredible. The game was just pure fun and offered a great space to kick back with your friends and have a laugh in a Call of Duty sandbox like never before. Skip to January 2025 and things have significantly changed for Call of Duty and Warzone. The situation is not good. The player count is falling. The last time I personally played Warzone was when they released the Area 99 map on November 14th last year. I played about 5 matches in total on that. I made one video and I logged off. All of my real life friends don't play the game anymore. The milkman doesn't play the game anymore. My content creator friends don't play the game anymore. We don't talk about it at all. There's no desire to play right now. But why and what the hell happened here? Well, in this video, I'm going to give some feedback and try to understand and explain what happened. I'm going to keep it as brief as I can, and I'm going to make some assumptions.
30-minute video, brief as I can.
There's going to be some feels over reels here, but everything that I say is based on my experience with this game and from listening to other people's experiences and viewpoints. I realize how hard
these trailers were so dope, man.
But consider this some constructive criticism from a fan. You won't agree with me on everything, and that's perfectly fine.
I miss these so much, man.
Some things, but do let me know your thoughts below. But this is how I feel about the current situation, and hopefully offers some potential solutions. I'm doing this because I used to love playing Warzone on a daily basis. Now I don't touch the thing, and I want to see it improve. We'll be discussing some general COD stuff in here too. Now I want to be clear that I'm also making this video from the perspective of a gamer rather than someone who makes YouTube videos for a living. Forget about that. I've played almost all of the Call of Duty games on PC in online multiplayer.
Bro, I don't even know what COD that is. What game is that?
World War II. I was running around Karantan and Stalingrad, fragging out on the 56k modem, having a blast. Before that, it was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. I've seen it all. Things have changed a lot though for Call of Duty since then. I'm also predicting that with COD bringing
is my eyesight that bad, or did that look horrible
this year, as the rumors go, they are hoping that it's going to reinvigorate the game and the players will come flooding back. However, I don't think this will be the case unless there are significant meaningful changes, as there are many fundamental issues with the current build.
That's me. That's me getting headshot sniped right there.
Fade away. So 2025 Warzone, what are the problems? We're going to start with gameplay. The current iteration of Warzone as a whole is too complicated, especially for new and returning players. 2020 Warzone was simple, and I've broken this gameplay bit down into sections. First up, we're going to talk about movement. The movement in 2020 Warzone was basic. You had aim, shoot, sprint, tactical sprint, slide, and a contextual weapon mount. It was easy to understand and simple to get to grips with for new or existing COD players. 2025 Warzone integrated with Black Ops 6, and it took on the new Omni movement system. You can now sprint in any direction.
I kind of disagree with this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Back and shoot, dive, slide, get up really quick, continue shooting, crouch, slide. It has many complexities leading to unpredictable, frustrating, and confusing firefights. It's difficult to understand just from a base level, featuring many customizable options too that confuse players, especially for those
I would say there is a lot of settings, but I don't think that's a
on small maps with fast respawns.
I don't think Omni movement's a bad thing.
Call of Duty Battle Royale experience. Intrinsically linked to this is a severe lack of consistency. This is a big issue. Every year a new COD game releases and they integrate that into Warzone. The result of this is that there's no through line and base understanding for the gameplay, which confuses players.
I don't think that's a bad thing in my opinion, but
basic, easy to understand. And then Cold War releases, guns get quicker, TTK gets quicker, movements faster. Next was Vanguard. Verdansk goes away. World War II setting. Map
dude, OG Caldera was
planes in the sky, bad visibility. And then Warzone 2, massive sweeping changes. They add an inventory system. They add AI, strongholds. It's now a mix between BR and an extraction game. Snipers are changed and the pace is slowed down excessively.
Underwater combat.
They revert most of that, and you have a weird hybrid that's been hodgepodged together, playing on an uninspired large map, Urzikstan, with no character. Black Ops 6, completely new movement system, still on the same big map. There's no ground zero for the players. And sometimes players might not necessarily like that year's flavor of COD either, yet they're forced to have it in Warzone. Many have favorites. Some love the Black Ops type gameplay, some hate it, some prefer Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward for Modern Warfare. There's too much pulling and pushing, and I imagine that the dev teams are constantly bickering on what their vision of Warzone is for whatever year, yanking the game in different directions, time and time again, taking one step forward and 3 steps back. Problems and bugs that were previously fixed return again and again. Think about Counter-Strike. That game released in 1999.
I'm trying my best to not pause a lot, but I feel like it would definitely be great for COD for COD to completely separate Warzone and Call of Duty, but I feel like Warzone might be a hot take here. Keeps multiplayer alive some, because I grind multiplayer just to get all my guns ranked up. So like, that's insane, bro.
Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6, it cannot be balanced.
I've been saying that forever. Just have Black Ops 6 guns in the game. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
Now, which takes way longer than it used to, by the way. Only 5 of them get used most of the time.
Yep.
It just seems so unnecessary.
Get out all the MW2 guns, man. What?
What's this? RDB. Is that a life ring? Do I have to be in water to use that? This is a Semtex. That doesn't really look like a Semtex, but whatever. A spy camera? What? So why would I want to take a picture in a battle royale game? What kind of spots people?
And half these things don't even get used, bro.
What's this vest on the ground here? Oh, there's a different one here. Why is this board game from the 80s here? What does that do then? There's just too much stuff in the game. Too much stuff. Next, the game itself is not really a battle royale anymore. It plays more like
I've been saying this forever.
Map where there are 1,000 ways to respawn. You get your loadouts almost instantly, and the map just happens to get smaller and smaller until one person or team wins. There are way too many options to respawn. You don't feel the danger or value your life in Warzone like you used to, and that takes away a key component of the game that made it fun and interesting.
Big map is basically resurgence just for the big map now, with flares, redeploys, buys everywhere, portables, no, bro, no, man.
Away from its original vision. There's no downtime anymore. Respawns, redeploy beacons that can move you around vast distances of the map in a few seconds. Fast zip lines everywhere, connecting buildings together, horizontal and vertical. The pace is relentless, and you don't have time to breathe. Those quiet moments that you had in 2020 when you were looting, moving from point A to point B, working out how much money you had together to see if you could buy a loadout.
And I've said for a while, don't put zips on Verdansk.
That's all gone. That's not possible anymore.
Do not put those on Verdansk, bro. Please.
Enjoy those moments. The peaks and valleys of 2020.
Just have vehicles that are actually good, man.
And interesting. There was a narrative, little stories and moments that you would have and remember. Nowadays, it's just a hyper fast TDM with a shrinking play zone. Most players just run at each other full speed and hold down fire. The basis of a semi-authentic, realistic map that we used to have has been replaced for intense play.
I've been saying that forever, bro.
Moving on, vehicles. Useless now.
Your life doesn't matter.
Why would you when you can loot a redeployed beacon and move vast distances in a few seconds? Vehicles in Warzone 2020 were fun. Big part of the gameplay loop. Driving around.
And that's how it should be. Whenever they bring back Verdansk, please, man, do not put zips. Please.
It just took too much damage from other players. This was exciting, and it offered unique gameplay scenarios that COD didn't have before.
For Rebirth or for freaking Area 99, that time to kill was insane. I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely a bad thing, but
too.
That's how it should be, bro.
Is that vehicles also created epic and memorable moments for infantry who were fighting against them.
Wait.
Go on. Oh, no way! No.
Do y'all remember my RPG clip?
Oh, you got it. Hitting long-range RPG shots on helicopters and Berthas as they screamed by, being chased down on the main roads by quad bikes, cinematic Michael Bay moments, firing javelin rockets at armored personnel carriers, setting proximity mine traps on the roads and bridges, using C4, sniping a pilot. That's all gone now. Doesn't happen anymore. Yes, I recognize that some of the vehicle systems were overpowered and they could be annoying at times. For example,
I forgot about how OP that was.
Accelerate to 200 miles per hour and road kill you, but they've been
the OG Berthas were insane.
Irrelevant, and I think that's a shame. True. Next topic, audio. This could have its own section, even video, but I wanted to include it in gameplay here because it is one of my biggest complaints with the game. And for me, it has a massive negative impact on my experience. I don't think
It's the
Warzone
worst
has
it's ever been.
had good audio. You can't hear footstep sounds until they're right next to you. The footstep sounds get muted and muddied by other audio in the game. The engine does an awful job with
Like there's
multiple footsteps
reverb
at
on the
once.
big map.
There's a weird reverb effect now that's confusing. It's hard to tell if someone's above or below you.
There's an
Parachutes don't
echo
make
of your
noise
own
sometimes,
footsteps and
just
stuff.
land
It
on
doesn't
you
make
without
any
you hearing
sense.
a
Why
thing.
is that a
You put
thing?
this all together,
At
and to
this
me,
point, make
it
audio
makes me feel like I'm not
overpowered
connected
where
to
like
the
I can
game.
hear a
I
team
feel
from
like I'm
far
driving
away.
around in
Then
this
like
space.
I don't hear
I'm
a team
not
of 4
grounded in
on
the
top of me.
experience. My ears are not giving me the information and feedback that I need to understand the environment that I find myself in. And when I get killed by an
Which is
entire
why
squad
I
of
feel like
tactical
people
sprinters
like
up to me at
Area
full speed,
99,
I
or
watch the
sorry,
kill cam,
like
I'm out
Rebirth
engaged with
Island
what
more
I
than
see.
Area
I
99
don't
because they're
tell- I watch
used to
my
where they're
recording back,
fighting.
and all I can hear,
And
just
where
to check, just
they've
to make sure I'm
always
not
fought at
crazy,
on Rebirth,
half a
and they don't
second
like Area
before I
99 because they
die
can't
is
hear
three
people and
small
it feels like it's
footsteps.
unexpected
That
fights.
is an incredibly
Because the audio's so
frustrating,
bad.
disconnected experience for a player that happens all of the time. Now, audio is a very contentious issue in this game because there are two main schools of thinking with it that fight each other. The first school is very anti-accurate audio because people think that if you've got good audio in COD or Warzone, it will just promote camping and players won't want to move around the map at all for fear of being pre-fired or noticed too easily. The other school of thinking is pro-good audio, and that's the one that I assign myself to. Because
Same.
to me, I think
At this
it's true.
point,
Which one would I rather have, whether I win or die? Let's think of a scenario. You're in a building, moving through to the next zone, and you have a firefight with a squad at the end of a corridor. You get bogged down. Maybe you take out one of theirs, they take out one of yours, but you're still in the fight, reloading, whatever. Then all of a sudden, behind you, another 3-man squad appears that rushed up to your building and start shooting you in the back. If you had good audio there, you hear that other squad coming and you can act accordingly. You can flank, disengage, move so you're not in line of sight from a specific window, and get ready to fight another team behind you. Whatever, you might win, you might lose. With bad audio, like how it is in Warzone at the moment, that squad runs
You're
up to the
completely
building
caught
you're
off
in.
guard.
You don't hear them. They shoot you in the back and kill you. What would be more satisfying and interesting to me in that scenario? Spoiler, it's the one where I can hear the squad coming regardless of if they kill me or not, because I would have had a level of understanding from the knowledge
And
the
in
game
my
gave
opinion,
me
it takes
before
more
the
game
fight, and I can act
skill
on
and
that,
game IQ to
regardless if I
know,
act correctly,
yo, we're
incorrectly,
getting third
regardless of
partied,
if I die
let's
or not.
disengage
For
from
me,
this
the game
fight,
would be way
and
more
then we can
engaging
make
and
these two
interesting
teams that
way
we're
if
fighting fight each other, and then we can hold them out and rotate.
So when people are sprinting around, I can understand roughly where they are.
I think
And
that
three,
is way
it
more of a
plays the
skill
option
gap
to crouch or
than
walk
knowing
on
when to
silently.
fight or
So
not
if a
fight or
player
when
wants
to
be
engage
as
and
quiet
not
as they can
engage.
be, sneak around,
Because
they still have the option, but they have to slow down a bit and think more about the
you can
engagement.
actually
A bit
hear
of
the
risk
team
reward
flanking
and
you.
strategy creeps in rather than how it is at the moment, players just sprinting around holding W and shift because they know how bad the
People
footstep
actually
audio is
play-
and the chances of someone hearing them are low. To me, having better audio and
Like
more
this?
context of the situation around you is better
like
whether you
what?
lose or win the engagement. And the audio is so bad that some PC players will spend time installing third-party software, adjusting and tweaking their EQ settings in Windows to completely distort the sound of the game just so they can raise the footstep audio slightly. Many pro players in tournaments, MP and Warzone, were using this and openly said that if they didn't, they felt like they were at a disadvantage. Some players consider this cheating too, but it shows how desperate people are for good audio. Overall, the whole audio system and way of thinking, with it, the design mentality in Warzone and COD needs a huge overhaul in my opinion. So,
okay,
that's
wait,
my core
okay.
gameplay section complete.
I get 4 pauses, and here is one of my pauses. I just want to say, you watch me play the game, not trying to glaze at all, but I jump into games into a solo queue 1v4 most of the time. The 99.999999999999999% of Call of Duty players ever are playing just like this. Like this is normal gameplay.
Next,
this is
we're gonna move
very
on to
chill. They're
aesthetics.
not.
Now, I'm not
This
gonna
is
sit
how
here
most
and
people
tell you that
play.
Skin in a Call of Duty game is going to ruin my day. Because
If you think people play like I do, you're blasted.
And they make a lot of money for the publisher. They support the game, especially if it's free to play. You know, if I see someone running around as a unicorn, a shark, Nicki Minaj, an emoji, whatever the hell these things are, I'm not going to start crying about it and quit the game. As long as it's just cosmetic and it doesn't have gameplay benefits like the Rose skin did, I can live with it. I've bought stupid, goofy skins and takedowns myself. If you buy them, that's your money, your choice. However, and I do think that this is important to many people, Call of Duty used to have an identity, an aesthetic. For many gamers, especially those who are late 20s to mid to late 30s, they grew up with the original COD trilogy set in World War II, then the original Modern Warfare trilogy, up until about the first Black Ops game, I'd say. All of those games together collectively had a vibe to them. This is what Call of Duty looked like back then. It was the cool, gritty military game with realistic outfits and guns. Yeah, the gameplay was arcadey, and you'd have bombastic action moments in the campaigns and multiplayer, but it looked like this. It had a feeling in the visuals, the worlds, the guns, even the audio.
Now, this part I might disagree with heavy.
Call of Duty does not have an identity anymore. It's akin to Fortnite.
I agree with the
art styles and
identity part, but the skins part I figure is kind of a reach.
With Black Ops 2 from what I recall, and it really began to accelerate with Advanced Warfare. Player customization obtained in various ways, from supply drops, challenges, weapons could look a bit different. You had the infamous clown mask, and with the rise in financial success of in-game microtransactions, live service, etc., the player skins and weapon skins are more outlandish than ever before. So when lapsed or even existing non-regular Call of Duty players come back to try the game, try the new Warzone, maybe they come back for Verdansk and they see this kind of thing, these colorful fantasy skins in a franchise that used to be grounded and authentic when they played it, that could potentially turn them off. It isn't the game, the franchise they remember anymore, and they start to feel like maybe what they used to know and love isn't for them now. They don't play it again.
I gotta be honest, that part I would kind of disagree with, but
I suppose it depends on how much of an impact the lack of realistic aesthetic and identity.
But that's just me though, I ain't gonna lie.
The game. I don't have the data for that, of course, but I feel like it should be a consideration.
We're not playing Tarkov.
I've seen many people discuss this.
If like you're trying to play Tarkov for like pure
a huge audience of FPS multiplayer gamers who want
realism
to play
skins, I feel like that's more of a Tarkov type of thing.
Play a role and sink into a fantasy. COD is missing out on that now. It's something to think about, and perhaps a solution to this,
or like a DMZ vibe,
is to have a simple toggle switch in the options that says only show me default and authentic skins. Next, oh boy, cheats. I cannot believe that after 5 years after all of the calls, the feedback sessions, the Reddit posts, the tweets, the blogs, the videos, the clips, the lawsuits, Warzone and Call of Duty still has a gigantic problem with cheaters. It's as worse as it's ever been.
It's insane, bro.
The community does not trust that anything can be done to ameliorate the cheating situation. It's out of control. Legit players are getting shadow banned more often than ever now too. People don't trust each other and question every kill cam. The cheat situation is so bad that some people actually believe Activision develop cheats themselves and then sell them to cheat websites who sell them to players.
Bro is cooking right now.
Absolutely wild. I realized that this is not an easy job for the developers. It's an ongoing battle, and it can never be won by either side, especially when there's money involved. But
bro is cooking.
It's quite clear that Call of Duty is losing, and it does not have control of this at all. And it's hard to know where to start discussing this too, because there's so many factors at play, but this really started to become a widespread problem when Modern Warfare 19 introduced crossplay with PC and console, and Warzone released as free,
which is why I can't wait for season 2
console audience to things
and crossplay off ranked play, brother.
Bots, wall hacks, flying cars, DDoS attacks. It showed all of this stuff to a massive group that hadn't seen it before, and they started talking about it. And I'm gonna keep this short because it's been discussed ad infinitum, but here's some things they could do that I feel would actually make a meaningful impact. Some of this stuff wouldn't be easy. It would be a difficult decision, but I think it would help. And bear in mind that
the OG days of
suffer from some of this.
Verdansk cheaters.
Console players the option for console-only crossplay, so PC players can only play
with console players
if the console player allows that in their matchmaking filters, or if they're in a party together. Yes, for legit PC players, this would have a big negative impact on matchmaking times.
Oh well.
Sometimes a wolf has got to chew off its own leg to survive. This could be a good fix in the interim while they look at bolstering other forms of protection.
I can't wait to play on crossplay.
A mandatory always-on secure boot anti-cheat for PC. Go down the same route as Valorant.
Yep, I've been saying this, bro.
Initially, people will complain en masse.
But my data, it's getting stolen.
No one trusts COD right now.
Get over it.
This
don't play then.
But in the long term, the benefits of having a clean game and a clean reputation would
if you don't have anything to hide, you don't care, bro.
Step 3, in 2024, Microsoft bought Activision for $68.7 billion. Call of Duty is now owned by Microsoft. What do Microsoft make? They make Windows. You play Call of Duty on PC with Windows.
Yeah, the same people that wanted TikTok banned, bro.
Come up with a better solution for fighting.
That's the same people that are like, I don't want an invasive anti-cheat. Please.
And step 4, implement.
The game doesn't run well on console though, brother. Have you played it, bro?
Way more on real-time in-game statistical analysis of players.
PlayStation 5 and PS5 Pro,
rage hackers
bro, they play COD better than a lot of people's PCs do.
Inhuman behavior is detected in a match, just ban it straight away. Moving on. Skill-based matchmaking, engagement-based matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, however you define it. however they define it. If you're watching this video, you know roughly what it is. In this section, I'm not going to discuss if I think it's a good or bad thing overall. I'm just going to tell you how I feel when I play this game. This feeling started with Modern Warfare 2019. When I play quick play in Call of Duty now, be that multiplayer or Warzone, I feel like I'm being manipulated. I feel a severe lack of gameplay variety. I feel like I play with and against the same players over and over. I feel like my ping is higher on average. I feel like I wait longer for matches than ever before, and I feel like I can't.
But ping is king, according to COD.
In 2024, Call of Duty released a couple of blogs and white papers explaining how their matchmaking system works. In total, 44 pages.
Which was some BS.
44 pages. There's graphs and data. It's available for free for everyone to see and read. I think it's a fascinating piece, and I really appreciate the communication from them. However, on the first page, it states
I'm trying my best to not pause, but a lot of those stats and numbers were obviously charted to fit their SBMM idea.
This does not line
and say it's the greatest thing ever.
The game at all. It's like pointing at an orange and telling me over and over again that it's a banana. How can ping be king when there's a 44-page document explaining how the matchmaking works and all of these other factors are a big consideration?
The amount of times that I pull a Texas server, Chicago server, New York, Miami, and not the server right down the road in Atlanta makes no sense, bro. I probably pull that server once out of every 10 games, and I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all hear me say it? I pulled the Atlanta server, let's go.
North America, brilliant. And then we need to think about how long they've been waiting for. Let's check. Okay, so only a few seconds.
And then I'm stoked.
No worries, no worries. Okay, great. I found a super low ping server that they can play in here. 5-millisecond connection, amazing. The game is just about to start. Whoa, wait, no, we can't put them in there because their kill death ratio is too low for that lobby. I just lost a load of good servers there. Hang on a second. What platform are they on? Xbox? Okay, so maybe we can put them with more Xbox players in this lobby. Wait, no, we can't. Average score per minute, slightly higher compared to the other players in there, so that would weigh the lobby too far in one team's favor and would be less likely to be a close match. It's going to be 90% chance instead of 95% chance. Unacceptable. How long have they waited now? Oh god, it's getting long. So what about this lobby? They don't have voice chat turned on. Can't put them in there. God, the selection of players is really getting a lot smaller.
Look at all the times that
there. So
you know it's a bot lobby.
How about this lobby with
all you got to do is 2-box once and you'll know because you hear everybody in prox chat.
Just played on this map before.
If I queue up solo dolo, I know instantly it's a demon lobby. I don't hear a single person in prox chat. It's all master prestige people. I know it's a bot lobby if I see auto parachutes and proc and I hear prox chat, which is golden content. Golden.
Skill, platform, voice chat, input, maps, playlist diversity.
That's how I know.
Chance of a close game. The numbers make sense, but I've ruled out so many other servers now. This lobby's going to be 60 ping for that player. Screw it. You know what? Throw them in there. They've waited too long. Who cares if they have
breakfast? Never that
because of the ping. Go complain on Reddit, loser. See you in the next match. That's Call of Duty matchmaking. That's how it feels to me. That is not ping is king. If ping was king, a player would click play. It would find any group of players searching to fill a lobby in a server close to them, put them in a group together and start the match as quick as possible. That's actually what ping is king would be. And that's not how the current system is at all. So you should know, if you're playing COD today, based on the information in the document they provided, in any mode that you play, you have a hidden rating, profile, and analytics on you that are being used to put you in a lobby that it deems acceptable. Skill and engagement are big factors. You're filling a hole. And no matter what level you're at, you can't see your own or other skill rating in the game. It will always try to match you with players of similar skill. If you think that's a good or bad thing, that's up to you.
It's a horrible thing.
The amount of people you play with, it has a negative impact on your connection experience and ping in the game, and it extends the time waited searching for a game. If they continue with this system in Warzone and multiplayer, it's only going to get more accurate over time, by the way. It would be great to let players in-game see their own rating and other players' rating for each lobby. I think that would go a long way.
But that's the point of ranked play.
Thanks to some community members and notably the efforts of content creator Exclusive Ace, they discovered
you queue into a pub and it feels like a ranked play game. Why not just play ranked play, bro?
By submitting a data and information privacy request on the Activision website. It takes a few days to receive this, but it does show you your perceived skill value. There's not much context to it though, and no visibility of the players that you were playing with and against. But what it does reveal is a heavily reactive system that's constantly updating. I'd recommend watching exclusive Aces.
Wait, that's crazy. What the heck?
If you're interested to learn more. Wrapping this bit up, the discussion around matchmaking in COD games has become overwhelmingly toxic now. It's created more distrust in the community, and there are conspiracy theories such as skill-based damage and easier matchmaking.
Yeah, that's insane.
From the store. Players
that's
also
insane.
figure out ways constantly to subvert these systems through various methods.
Like, people think that skill-based damage is a thing, bro.
For this section, I'll leave you with this.
It's insane.
An old school, casual, and unfiltered multiplayer experience has gone. Every match, regardless of your skill, is essentially a ranked match with no rank progression and no context of how and why you performed the way.
Yo, Yaks with a new primer, man. I love you, bro. I appreciate that. Y'all think skill-based damage is a thing? Now we're yapping.
And their matchmaking system
now we're yapping
to manipulate
I ain't gonna lie.
and keep you playing for longer. Next, bugs. Honestly, there's been so many bugs with Warzone that there's no point documenting.
Now we're waffling, bro.
Every game has them. It just seems that Warzone has way more than average, and they
we
take
tested
longer to
it.
fix. There's been a notable pattern too that when there are problems with the store, they're often fixed sooner in a much quicker fashion. That might
we don't believe that's real, right?
The problem is generally easier to fix than a gameplay problem, though. But it's happened enough times now that it sends the wrong message and it creates.
You're telling me you've never sat there and shot someone 70 times and they don't go down? It happens all the time.
The complex matchmaking system.
That's because COD has horrible servers.
High pings. Servers crash too, and they can be crashed by hackers.
That's not skill-based damage.
Data, third-party testers have surmised.
That's because COD has horrible servers.
20 tick rate. I'm no game developer, and I'm very ignorant to this, but my understanding of it is that the higher the tick rate, the more real, up-to-date version each player has of the game. In layman's terms, it's how fast everything in a lobby updates. The faster, the better. Some games like Valorant have a 128 tick rate, so
which feels insane.
Taking damage, etc. More often than not, feels accurate. Obviously, Warzone has a much higher player count than Valorant of 100 to 150 players, so there may be technical problems with increasing the tick rate. I assume it would also cost more money for Activision to run higher tick rate servers, but as I mentioned before, they are owned by Microsoft now, so perhaps they can sort out some kind of deal, you know? I don't even know if it would help with Warzone, but in my simple brain, it makes sense. It would be a nice olive branch for the community to spend a bit more time and money on server performance. Other large player count games in the past, like Battlefield 4, for example, with 64 players, did have high tick rate servers up to 120 Hz if you wanted. That felt super snappy, good to play on, and 60 Hz then became the standard going forward. So I feel like it should be possible for Warzone too. And high tick rate servers should definitely be there already in multiplayer for smaller gamers like S&D hardpoint domination. I'm sure those upgrades would make a massive positive impact on rank play. And
which is why my bullet reg and stuff feels so much better, man.
Trust as well. Call of Duty has been having a very hard time with this over the last 2 years or so, I would say.
Every time I play multiplayer, I'm like, dang, bro, this feels buttery.
Local community is at an all-time low.
It's just because Warzone servers are trash.
YouTube video, there is a slew of negative comments and sentiment. Sometimes even community notes. It mainly revolves around fixing the game, the cheating situation, and focusing on selling bundles and event passes instead of addressing problems with the game. The recent Squid Game event is an example of that. It gives the impression that their priorities are not in the right place. I also mentioned the thing about store errors too in the bug section that are promptly fixed. Other bad examples that soured trust are like during Warzone 2 when DMZ was being updated still. They sold store
pay to win
that gave you pretty big gameplay advantages like always.
I tweeted about that today. I'm like, yo, DMZ, if the leaks and rumors about DMZ are true that it could be coming back, bro, they gotta stop with the pay to win.
Like, feels like it crams so much of that down your throat nowadays that you get.
We tested against a 5 KD player. We talked proximity chat and tested 20% damage reduction with all guns, bro. That's literally not true, bro. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to break it to you, but that's literally not true, man.
It's really starting to have a negative impact on the gameplay and player base now. Trust is important, and the only way out of this is to start actually delivering good updates and fixes. Shift the focus to the gameplay. More transparent.
Dude, DMZ could actually be good
too, but ultimately, I feel like they should stop saying
I will die on this hill.
And instead just start doing the things.
Just do it.
Let the improvements do the talking.
Agreed.
Wrapping things up, because I don't want this video to go on too long. It probably already is, but I feel like many of these issues that I have could be rectified if they were to separate Warzone from the main Call of Duty titles so they weren't shackled and bound by that anymore. Make it a separate game with its own dedicated dev team, engine, weapon values, cycles, vision, etc.
But then I feel like it would hurt the Call of Duty franchise, because I buy all the CODs at this point kind of now just to rank up all my guns for Warzone. So I feel like if they did that, I don't know how many people would grind
it shakes up the gameplay.
Would grind Call of Duty if the game is good.
The gameplay changes, turning players away from
like if Warzone is actually good, how many people will grind like Black Ops 6?
It's the only battle royale game right now that I still play somewhat regularly. As of making this video on a Sunday in January, PUBG has 507,000 players on PC Steam right now, with a 24-hour peak of 758,000. That's impressive. In the 7+ years that the game has been out, it hasn't massively deviated from its original vision at launch either. It is still a battle royale. They added more big maps over time. They didn't try and shake up the game mechanics every year or make drastic sweeping changes. The movement is exactly the same as day one, apart from some good quality of life changes which were added, such as vaulting and hoisting. I enjoy kicking back on the game,
this game looks
from time to time. And I don't engage with the battle pass or cosmetics either. I don't care about the progression. I just play the game and enjoy it for what it is, a game. Warzone needs to break away, in my opinion. It needs to draw a clean line in the sand where they can build from scratch again and define what it is and what it wants to be. As a player, I'm looking for that level of consistency. A clean break would also be a great opportunity for the COD team to tell players that from this point in time, any purchases they make are staying with them in Warzone, so they feel that they can invest and commit to the game in the long term. In Fortnite, for example, that isn't even a question. You know that whatever's on your account stays on your
haven't
account
ever
and
played
accessible to you.
PUBG before.
The daily concurrent player count,
but I'm not gonna lie, yo, those graphics were rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Multiple COD games too. As of today, that number is currently sitting at 50,000 concurrent players. Remember, these games are available on Game Pass, Battle.net, and consoles too, so the actual overall player number is much higher than this, but what the Steam charts show us is a trend. If COD is losing this many daily players on Steam, it's probably losing a proportionate amount on the other platforms too. This time,
but I will say again, I don't personally know anybody that plays COD on Steam at all.
White t-shirt, you wore it every day, you washed it, it came back looking like new, smelling great. Each time there was a new season, a big map update.
Because I've seen a lot of people tweet that chart that's like, dude,
the Halloween event was
COD's dying, look at Steam. I'm like, bro, I don't know anyone that plays on Steam.
That left a stain. And then the server lagged out again. That left a stain. And then you got squad wiped in the final circle by someone glitching under the map. New stain. And then you were told that the cosmetics you paid for didn't carry across to the next version of the game. Big stain. You couldn't use your kill streak. Stain. You try and wash it and you can't get those stains out, but you keep playing, trying it again, and then you get killed by someone who made no footstep sounds running on the floorboards right next to you. New stain. Then a flying hacker car wipes you out. Stain. They take your favorite game mode away. New stain. Your game crashes with a dev error. Stain. You take the t-shirt off, you throw it in the washer, one more spin, comes out, no difference. It doesn't change. There's too many stains on it. They've left too many marks. And you know what? You're not going to wear that t-shirt anymore. Warzone needs a new t-shirt. This game was a massive deal for Call of Duty. Free to play, exciting and fresh. I spent hours having fun on the game with friends, but I don't play it much at all anymore. I find that kind of sad considering how good it used to be, and I hope that we can come back to that in the future. Yes, I know Warzone 2020, it wasn't perfect. There were some big issues with balance, dead silence, stopping power, etc. But goddamn, it was fun as hell. Simple, easy to understand, easy to pick up, and an amazing sandbox to play in. Perhaps we'll never get back to that, and perhaps that's okay, but I think that the foundation that they had there should have been nurtured and improved upon instead of being broken down time and time again. Luckily, we're sport for choice and there are plenty of other amazing games to choose from right now. I wish the developers luck going forward, and I'll be keeping a close eye on updates. Thanks for watching. Do let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.
That's a banger. I'm not gonna lie. That was a banger video. A couple things though that I disagree with just in general is the skins part. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of feel like the like skins thing is cool. I mean, obviously some people are like, I want a milsim shooter. Then I'm like, well, I'm not playing DMZ. Like, I'm not playing Tarkov. Like, I like cool, bright, cool skins. The only thing that I'm like about is obviously because COD has crappy servers, like super crappy servers, that if they had the toggle where you only saw like 1 or 2 skins, that there would definitely be like a lot of hitbox issues, because obviously there's some skins that just look massive, and there's some skins that are the rose skin that are like super dark. Like, there'd probably be a lot of hitbox issues, where then people would just further on the idea of, well, skill-based damage is real. Like, and then there'd be more people just digging on the conspiracy if they had that of skill-based damage, because there would be a lot of hit reg issues with like a set kind of skin for the game. I think obviously because it's Warzone and it's free to play, that they have to actually make money somehow, just like every other BR that's free to play. They're gonna have skins. Like, I think it's cool personally, like straight up. And then the Omni movement thing, which I don't know if he was saying that it's a bad thing or that all of the settings are a bad thing. I definitely do wish that all of the settings would chill, because there's really thousands of settings, and on top of that, they just change random settings. Like, forever it's been like, yo, I play on 6.6 sensitivity or 7.7 or 8.8, and now it's like I play on 1.2576 3.142. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, a straight pie chart of sensitivities. Like, that made no sense. Like, but like overall, I think Omni movement is a good thing. Like, I don't think that's bad. Like, there's obviously a lot of games that have very, what's the word? Like, boots on the ground movement, you know? Like, it's very like Tarkov-y, very Battlefield-y, very Delta Force-y. Like, definitely Omni movement is not a problem. I think that it's more of a settings issue of there's so many settings now, which is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And then obviously skill-based matchmaking. Oh, brother, don't even get me started on that. Because all the people that's like, well, back in my day, COD was better. Back in your day of no skill-based matchmaking. That's not what I said. That's not what I mean. But that's what you said, though. I'm just saying. So you're saying that the old days of COD are way better than now, which had no skill-based matchmaking, right? Because I feel like COD also, with a horrible anti-cheat and insane skill-based matchmaking, they have just kicked themselves, because now, respectfully, I mean, let's just be honest, most of the people that spam reporting people in pubs and stuff, I'm not saying there's no cheaters, of course there's cheaters, but most of the actual good players that aren't cheating, that are getting shadow banned, are usually just bad players spam reporting somebody that's not cheating, because they have a delusional confidence of that they're very good because of skill-based matchmaking, because they're going to be in a very, very protected lobby. And if they ever fight somebody that's better than them, that absolutely world stars their whole team, they're going to automatically assume, hey, that guy's cheating. When no, they're just better than you. Which is why on all the videos, on all the comments, on Facebook, LinkedIn, MySpace, Tinder, Rumble, Tumble, Fumble, Hinge, all we see is comments, cheating. Like, no. You're just not as good as you think you are, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with being a silver player, bro. The problem is when you are a silver player or a pub player that's a silver player, and you're stuck in a lobby of silver players, you think you're really good because you're in this protected lobby of just your kind of, let's be honest, below average players. So if you ever fight somebody that's going to be better than you, that for you is unkillable, you're going to automatically assume they're cheating. That's the problem with skill-based matchmaking, where instantly people think anytime they die, they're automatically cheating because they have this false sense of confidence because of skill-based matchmaking. That's the problem. But overall, though, yo, banger video. I'm not going to lie, absolutely banger video. Freaking shout out to my guy, Jack, man.